What's up, guys? My name is Brendan, and today I want to answer the question, is tricking risky and dangerous? Personally, I think it is, but it all depends on how you train. I'm going to explain that and a whole lot more today, so with that said, let's get started. Tricking is a high-impact sport, and it does carry a certain degree of risk. That said, tricking is definitely not the most risky sport. Each year, on average, 13 people die in the ring boxing. Now, boxing is a very extreme, very physically demanding sport, but I would say if you're a tricking athlete, you're putting yourself at about as much risk as someone who practices martial arts, gymnastics, parkour, or any other high-impact sport. So yes, tricking is risky. The result of risky training is unfortunately injury. And in the sport of tricking, there is a big range of the type of injury you could receive. You could get a minor wrist or ankle sprain, and it'll take you out for maybe a week. Or you could get an extreme ankle or wrist sprain and require surgery. Sometimes people can just tweak their back, and other times people become paralyzed from the neck down. We only get one body, and there is very real things that can happen to it if we train in a very risky and unsafe fashion. So you really need to be careful. Hopefully you just get very minor injuries along the way that just kind of happen naturally. Spraining an ankle in a very minor fashion can often help it recover to come back stronger. And it's the same way with many types of injuries. That said, we need to avoid them the best we can and mitigate the risk of training using these tips. My first tip is to practice extreme self-awareness. If you've never done a backflip before, don't just go into your backyard and YOLO it. If you don't know how to do a cork, you shouldn't just try. Go back, work the progressions, do something that's a little bit easier if it feels risky to you. You as the athlete need to be very self-aware of what your current skill level is and the apparent risk that you're taking when doing certain skills. If something feels risky to you, try something easier. My second tip is to find a good training environment, and there are two parts to this. First, it's where you physically are. Are you trying to learn your B-twist on a cold, rainy day in a wet field of grass, or are you trying to learn it in a gym? Having a good physical environment to learn is very important for mitigating risk. The second part is who you're training with. If you're training with a bunch of dummies who want you to YOLO and try tricks you've never learned before, that's the wrong group to train with. You should train with people who push you to be better, who encourage you to train the things you're bad at, and who don't judge you for maybe taking extra time on a progression. Being aware of where you are and who you surround yourself with is one of the best things you can do to mitigate risk and train safely. Tip number 3 is to practice educated training. What I mean by that is you should understand where you are now, where you want to be, and how to get there. If you have no self-awareness, path to achieve your goals, or knowledge of what you want to get, you're not going to train smart and it's not going to be effective. If you want to mitigate the risk, go on Google and YouTube, search up the trick you want to learn, sit down and come up with a plan, a progression to take you where you are now to whatever your goal is. If you do that, you will mitigate the risk and achieve your goals far faster. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this content and want to learn more, go to my website, howtomastertricking.com. And because of the coronavirus, I want everyone to get access to all the training resources they need. So use the promo code TRAINING to save 50% on your entire order from the website. You could use that to learn tricking with the Mastering curriculum or represent it with the Mastering Tricking clothing. But either way, thank you so much, and please have a lovely day.